to the flag of the States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thing to add to the agenda.
I suppose lift station would be one, right?
Huh?
Your bid, your lift station bid. Would that be one to add to the agenda?
Well, we got a lift station in there, so that's good enough.
Okay,
Motion been made, then the second. Okay, so motion been made, second to approve the agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Minutes.
Motion approved.
Motion been made, is there a second? Second. Made, second to approve the minutes as written, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Mr. Michael.
I had a question. I got thoughts on north end of the town here. And I don't agree with how they got a mark out.
Come up here so we can hear you.
Yeah. Oh,
Don't
sorry.
mind sitting up.
Okay. I'll just stand up. This ain't gonna take long.
Okay,
I got
so which
the-
lots do you have?
I have the one right behind Mary, right,
That's the log house.
the log house.
The log house is Mary's.
Yeah.
I got, what's his name?
Well, Grant lives there in the one right next to
Uh-huh.
it, back there, right? Behind it.
Yeah,
So what,
okay, long story short. Bill's bought the field there, and he says my land doesn't go all the way back to where the field is. And I've spent 7 years cleaning the place up, and I look at Stouts is it Stouts? Yeah, that has apartments. And somebody's marked it, his, where the driveway is, way back there, a lot further back than mine is.
the proper procedure, if there's a dispute on that, is to have somebody like land surveying service put the pins in there. The guy's name is Richard Hovendick, or David, yeah.
From,
That was late, but Paul Belzer has already had him survey it once. And do you know Paul at all?
well, I've talked to the guy, the said guy,
Well, yeah, he can be difficult, but he could show you where those pins are. And
see, when I told him I disagree with it, he said that the street there is offset,
the what?
the street, because they measure out the street or whatever.
Well,
But
they
I
don't-
know we had, what's his name, do it. Or I did,
Derek Childs.
yeah,
See, if.
and there ain't a flag there that lines up with. Two flags in a row that won't line up with the
Yeah.
third one down the road.
That's ideal.
So
Probably the-
who's got that thing formed up to for a slab?
That's,
Devin
Seven
Heisler?
high
Yeah.
streets.
Do you agree with the line in between him and you? And the line in
Well-
between Mary Wright and you?
me and Devin, we don't have a problem. Throw stuff on my side, I don't care, and whatever.
Okay,
If you're
And
not-
Mary Wright, I have no idea where our property is lined.
It's the north line here, we're
Yeah,
that'd be his south line and Mary's north line.
Well, actually, his north line, Paul's so far.
No, Paul's, yeah.
yeah, well, I like to know where Paul's and Mary's both are, because I own 10 feet of hers, I think it is, or 15 or something stupid.
Do you have an abstract for your?
Yeah,
Is it a meets and bounds description on there or a fractional lot or what is it? The description of your property,
oh, I'd have to go back and look. It's a quick deed I got from,
quit claim deed, yeah.
yeah, So was there ever an alley back there? You talked to Grant and the old timers, they said, yes, there used to be an alley that went back there.
this way,
Yeah,
well, it should be on the plat.
Didn't it come off the highway and, but
All the way
it stopped
through.
about Manning's or somewhere in there, there was a street back. in
Yeah,
there.
they can't prove it, but see, then also Glenn also said that because where my property is, my alleyway is actually on the city easement because they owned all the way back to the trees. But now when I had mine surveyed by Dave, my lot comes up 3 feet from that alleyway. That's not an alleyway, that is an alleyway. But it was a handshake deal that Johnson did with the city.
Hmm.
But
That,
if they didn't record that as vacated, it's still not officially vacated.
yeah, see,
There's gonna be, you know, that issue between Tim's and
yeah, so
Esterly and Paul Belzer about vacating that street. That's gonna come to a head.
we'll see it now too, Paul, like I was telling these guys, Paul also cultivated all the way up to Manning's fence and that, and the house next to it that Brad Hill bought. He's cultivated all the way up to those fences, which isn't his property. That was still city alley, but he said it's his property. It's like, no, it's not, it's city property. We deemed that, we said this before, that alleyway goes out, there's like 40 feet or 30 feet that went from the highway all the way to past Manning's. We've discussed this. Here he said it and it's platted that way, but he cultivated all the way up to Manning's fence. So I don't know who's got jurisdiction to do this. I think he's overstepping his bounds. He's
I do
stealing
too.
every inch that he possibly can, but it's not.
Well,
It's
you know,
cropland.
what's so silly is that, you know, to get an extra 5 or 10 feet doesn't amount to shit.
No,
But it is to the guy he's encroaching on his yard.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's not being very neighborly.
Yeah, he's about a 1.5 from my property. He cultivated all the way up to my property.
Michael, if you would care to share that deed with me sometime and just let me look at that, I could give you an opinion,
okay.
a free opinion, and that's what it's worth. But
Jimmy's on the zoning and board and everything, so I mean,
Okay.
it should go to him to see
Okay.
anyway.
Yeah, if I don't know if there used to be an alley back there. Because Grant said there was, he's the oldest one on the,
well, yeah, I don't know. We could look at the, I have an official map behind the door posted on the wall down at my office. I don't
Okay.
I don't know if that alley's on that map or not.
I have no idea.
We'll see, and I know even all like those trees that are along behind Chad's apartments and the lot that opens bought and everything. He mowed into those trees. He's trying to, yes, he's trying to get, and then he took
Sure, he cut all
chainsaws
kinds of
one
trees
Sunday,
down.
went all the way down and cut that he said were overhanging on his property.
Who
And
did
I
that?
don't, Paul did, and we don't know where his
See-
property line is. I mean,
What I don't
There's
understand
stakes, but you
is
can't
why
see it.
Chad's got his goes way back. There's 2 big posts they put in. That you can do, well, they're square. You know, they're dug in there for a reason.
Well, I can't imagine that there isn't a straight.
Well, that's what
line.
I'm saying. They can't go.
yeah, it's not gonna
Yeah.
go like this.
Even if that alleyway is abandoned, say it was vacated, half and half goes, right?
That's correct.
So I mean, if he's going up the fence, well,
Well, when Klingberg's, they want to buy half that alley
Yeah,
and they wouldn't let them have it because it was on the countryside. They said that belonged to the city, so the other guy got it. I'm just trying not to get screwed on this deal by,
I know, and
by,
it's, I paid to have mine surveyed too, and I have my property line on the north side of the house. And it's pretty square, but if you follow my property line,
then it jogs back.
it's jogs back, but like where my lot starts, like on the south side. And that goes straight across, he's 10 feet into everybody else's property already. And that's a square shot.
so I'd say that's, I'm thinking that what's the name's post back there, 10 feet further out than.
Houses
What-
are,
Or those houses are 10 feet farther out than Paul's are. Paul's encroaching on everybody's property over there, but I think it's a Chad's. Because Chad's got his post there.
Well, it's certainly got a straight line across it.
Yeah, I'm thinking the line can't go like this. You know,
No, it can't go. This way,
Anyone
then
listening to it,
jog out
I
10
would
feet back
think,
down.
you know,
well,
why don't you get that claim and, well, of course, when are you gonna get back to the office? Maybe next
Well,
week.
well,
I know where you live. No, I don't, but I know where you work sometimes.
yeah,
Right now, it's a tractor cam.
It's
I
getting
see what
special.
you're, I see them eating out once
2
in a
weeks
while.
ago, I went to the doctor and I hurt my leg, but he dropped some iron on there, and then Linda says, get something for the your cough and sore throat, so they go with Destiny, and I was positive, so I got rested that day, and then the next 4 days I quarantined in the oldest track.
I'm just kidding.
Everybody back up.
Beyond the mask, mandate, everything.
Okay,
Well, if COVID isn't any more severe than what I had, I don't know, back when drinking days, that hangover was a hell of a lot worse than that.
You had COVID down there, right?
Well, no, 2 weeks ago.
Oh, 2 weeks ago. That's your second shot around, was it?
Yeah, I had it a year and a half ago.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Okay, so I'm done. I'll talk to you
We'll
eventually.
look at that and,
But in the meantime, I'm gonna leave everything right where it's at until we figure.
Oh,
it
yeah.
out.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, he says half my shed's on this property, which I know.
Leave it alone.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
tell
It's
her.
gotta be,
I thought he was gonna be.
it's
actually
gotta
got
be
it
addressed,
tonight.
no matter what.
I'm sure he's working.
see, he's got another issue with Esterly and Tim's about, they want to vacate that street. But he has to agree to that because we can't close his access off to that unless he agrees to it.
And really, there's no access anyway, because that tree line goes all the way to Grants.
But anyway,
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
I
just trying, I'm trying not to be, just because the name is Delta, I don't wanna be bullied by it.
well,
Cause I got different room for that one. I like the rest of them. Anything else? Am I done?
No, that's
Thanks for your
good.
time.
Yeah, you get it together with Jimmy, because he's on the
Yeah,
planning
it'll
board
be sometime
anyway.
after spring work. So.
all right.
Have you gone up here at all to the records, see if there's anything, see if they've shown
You know-
anything for alleyways or anything up in their plots and their maps?
No, not really.
That
I
might be
was-
how they try that.
I was wondering if there was something, because our city map, I don't know which one is the most
well,
current.
Northern Plains.
I know they showed where it was annexed in out there. But what's actually been annexed in or what's what, I have no idea.
We've got a whole box of maps, old ones up at the water plant too, that, you know, guys can go through to just see if there is any old ones.
But even if there is an alley in the old map,
Yeah.
we don't know.
It's not gonna help us through.
Well, so something should be recorded every time the alley is vacated, it should be recorded on a plan.
And I always thought the alley went half to each property owner. But I suppose Belzer says the alley was, well, the alley had to be in the city if it was platted.
Yeah,
So I'm not sure that it shouldn't go the other way around, and that if it's in the city,
It
they,
was all the way to the property owner,
yeah,
not the farmland.
yeah.
But anyway, I'll let you guys have your meeting. I appreciate
Okay,
it.
all right,
And we'll chat after spring.
if,
Thanks,
you
Mike.
get, Michael,
Yeah.
we might appoint you to some committees or something here if you get too interested in what we're doing.
want to stay, we'll find you.
all you guys can do for me. I don't care what you guys do. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
I helped pick up trees one time in the city park in Munich, and the next meeting they voted me as board member.
That's for the good. Yes.
There to bed yourself.
Okay, I guess we'll move on to you then, Mr. Sennings, I think.
Yeah, I just wanted to get the ball rolling, I guess, on trying to change that property to the north of Bob's into commercial property.
Are you going from Second Avenue all the way to the road, or is it just partial of that?
Just what Bob owned there.
Okay.
Seventh Street.
So it'd be. It would it'd be on the west side of Connie Hunt up to Sam
See,
Wagner's and then back to the highway.
my opinion is that whole road should be commercial. It wouldn't matter if there's houses there, but
No.
you know, all the way down to.
And the agreement with Connie was that we put a fence up, which is understandable, and Sam both. I mean, that was one of the agreements
Yeah,
that we provide a fence to separate the properties.
they both signed off on it, they're fine.
They have signed off already?
No, I say have, I mean.
Well, I've nothing in writing. I don't have anything in writing. It was just a verbal. Now I gotta get uptown and get permit, but we are going to, I talked to Connie the other day, we're gonna take. And how does that work for a permit? Cause we're gonna take down the trees, but Connie thinks they're on her side of the line.
So that's what this is for.
Okay.
This would be our building permits. You'd fill it out.
What you have to do, Mary, is you have to, I don't want to say this now. Come to planning and zoning and it requests a change in zoning from residential, I think that's our one, to commercial.
Okay.
You outlasted Oral Shock, he was opposed to that, but I don't think anybody else really cares.
No, I haven't heard anybody that cares, you know.
I suppose we don't approve of Castle Bluff even more, huh? For how much will it go down if we do?
Yeah, sing a deal.
A nickel down or 20 cents up?
Just asking for a friend.
So the permit side of it, do I have to have does Connie have to have a permit for us to take her trees down?
No.
No, not removable.
And she agreed to this.
She has. I talked to her the other day and I said, those trees look like they're terrible, you know, and I said, hey, Connie, here's the deal. The trees are bad. Would you agree if we paid to take your trees down and we put a fence up, are you okay with that? She was tickled pink. Cause I think she's been putting off taking the trees down.
I can't imagine that
So-
Sam won't agree to something since he works. for
We
you.
could probably have a little pressure on Sam if he.
Nah, he'll be fine.
Which one's Sam?
The
To
next one
the north.
To the north.
Right on the
The only two left in there are Connie and Sam.
Which is
Connie's to the
left?
east, Sam's to the west.
Oh, and that's ED.
On the north.
Wagner.
Huh?
Wagner.
Oh, Sam Wade.
He's kind of the manager since Kelly retired.
Well, they hired a new
They
manager.
got a new guy there
Bruce
now.
Cahill's a new elevator manager.
He is.
He seems pretty good, from what I've seen.
Well, he's had 35 years experience, so he should be good.
So, but yeah, that permit then would
Yeah.
be for the fences.
Yeah, so we're gonna put up fence. This year, as far as I know, all we're gonna do this year is let that ground settle, get it to grade. Well, Lynn's already got it about there.
Is he gonna take more out of the front yard of that black dirt and stuff?
To the west?
Yeah.
Oh, he's pretty much right to the sidewalk now.
Okay, I haven't looked for a day or two.
So then you're gonna tank, put tanks in down there then, or?
Well, no, what the intentions are down the road is right now our tanks sit here and our dispensers are here. And I'd like to get those dispensers over here
Will they come in and?
on the north side of the tanks at a little bit of an angle to get that truck traffic away from the corner of the building
So
that,
people can park up there.
so everybody doesn't back into everybody.
We can have a quick planning and zoning commission and what form do we use, Amanda, to change the zoning? We'll have to look that up and then.
I don't know if I have a form in the file. I have to look.
Think we
Yeah,
gotta
I think it's
advertise-
just the petition.
I think we gotta advertise it that people wanna come to. a
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
all.
correct. I mean, we should drop some kind of a form that we all agree on. Whoever gonna make the request for legacy, if that's you, that's fine, then.
It could be a similar form, kind of, sort of like that.
And we could at least have the planning and zoning will not object to that, then we maybe could have the first hearing.
Was your property line gonna go like that, more or less then, with that one fence that's back in the back now?
What do you draw there?
This is where that fence is currently back there,
So
so.
you're talking about Paul Bell's.
No, no, this is.
Well, we could take our fence maybe and move it down here.
I'll take your fence.
If the city would put up new fence for us.
But yeah, if you wanna get the ball rolling, that'd be the best way, and turn and tell Amanda you want it in, and then make drop the form, and they'll let the planning and zoning.
We have to make the planning and zoning has to make a recommendation to the
Right.
council, which they aren't gonna object to it. I mean,
Basically, it's get it up in the paper and let the neighbors be aware.
Yeah, they gotta.
They can come to the meeting and
I'm sure they
complain. if
know
they want.
already that removal of the
Well,
house.
only got two there, so that's what we're about, really, so.
I don't think that the objection of people that aren't contiguous to that carries much weight.
No.
You know, if Stab or Connie were saying no, 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 you'd have an issue.
They would have been saying it by now already.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
But we probably have to have some kind of a written statement signed and notarized by them that they don't object.
Yeah.
that's something I gotta do. That's not something the zoning committee does. I do.
Yeah, you go
Okay.
canvass them, or we're gonna tell you to do it at the planning and zoning, so if you
Right.
bring that to the meeting. You
Makes it
know,
easier.
oh yeah.
It's all done.
Because we're gonna say, are you sure? Go get it in writing.
Okay.
Stated your, this is our intention to clean the
Sure.
one fence up. And Connie's, you might as well add
Well,
on. take the trees.
whatever you're agreeing to do with Connie doesn't really matter to us, like
No.
taking the trees out.
That permit will all fall in to the same permit that
Yeah.
we're putting the fence up on Bob's old property to
Yeah,
continue it all the way down.
yeah,
Okay,
okay,
Best way to handle it.
well, thank you.
yeah, I'll get
Thank you.
some for them to sign, drawn up, and then
You
we'll,
want to,
I'll turn that into.
yeah, so this is my only question is relating to the fees. So you would be under the commercial, so we either have $120 for up to $25,000 value, which I don't know what kind of fence you're putting up. Or then we have that 10 cents per square foot thing.
Because it's just gonna be pumps and stuff eventually, so I don't think that I just say do the.
Just 120.
Fence is $9,000, so.
Yeah. good call.
We'll do
Can you
this.
get some of that stuff that Trump had built? that they never got put in?
You're probably gonna do a wood fence, right?
Yeah, I wish I had that around the building so I keep the employees in so they can't run. While I was sitting here, I got a 2-week notice from a full-time employee. so.
Oh.
You know, if I knew of anybody good that you could hire, I sure wouldn't tell you. Because I am myself.
I just
That's all I
can't
can
live.
say.
I left there today feeling pretty good, like everybody's getting along, there's no drama. I just, I can't keep an adult supervisor there at all times, it just doesn't, I don't have enough people.
That's
And without the adult supervision,
It's all over out there.
There's drama.
saying that, so it's very clean up and raw.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's just everybody. you know.
Okay.
All right.
All right, thank you.
So I can turn those signed. When
You
I
can
get
send
them
everything
signed,
to
I
me.
just turn them to you.
Yep, and I'll start a file.
Thanks, Terry.
Yep, thanks. Went to the RFQ sewer project, well, 5 companies applied for wanting that job, so I'm gonna set up, I'm picked a date of, I don't know if it'd be next week yet, maybe the week after, we'll just probably interview all 5 of us, the committee will. And then decide off of that which one we're gonna take. We'll just, I think, what I thought, I've asked most of them, they figure an hour. Yeah. Well, it's gonna be an all-day affair. so.
But the city's gonna buy you lunch.
Well,
I'm
Jim-
not on that.
Jimmy's not on that.
I'm on my way out, lame duck.
That's Rudy and
Hey,
Shady
can't
and I
tell.
and Chad's house and Lonnie from Ross.
Fly in the coop.
Huh?
Fly in the coop.
Yeah. So
I
that's
think
where that's at.
If you let me know what day it is, I'll book the room here, because we have to book that through the county. So book the room and then I'll cater some sandwiches or something.
I know, I already said that we're gonna go out to.
Oh, the Durham, that's right, yeah.
The city's gonna buy us dinner.
City can buy you dinner.
Rudy and Sagan and I, we're just gonna tag along, but we're gonna owe to them other two for the work.
Sounds
they put
good.
in, so we'll owe them a dinner. So. All right, okay. Golf course. I'm not sure yet what we're gonna do here. We just got Aaron sent the deal. They're interested in the pavilion to fix it up and. But they're also probably would be interested in buying all the land. Or not buying, but getting all the land.
Can I interrupt for 1 minute, just for recording purposes? We received no sealed bids, so there's no bids to open.
Yeah.
To have that.
And Lynn Bell called and the grandstand, he said, there's a gal out in oil fields that, I don't know if it's demo cord or what, they can actually lay that on and it'll just slice it.
Yeah,
And Lynn would be interested in the slabs. He'd take them up to his goal pit up north.
yeah, they just use jet cord.
That, yeah.
I did that before.
Well, then you
Works
just
good.
get some.
Well, yeah.
I used to get it from the government
Yeah.
and it works good.
And I told him we wouldn't even charge you too much then to take them slabs, so.
You mean he wants to take them steps up there and grind them up for concrete or what?
He didn't say, but no, he wanted these big slabs. He figured he could
Put it on
slide
the
them on his low boy.
I don't know how much
All along.
rebar is in there and that's where you run into problems.
Yeah.
Even the jet cord.
So I told him after the meeting, or I let him know if we wanted to get a bid from him. He didn't think she'd be too bad, he said she likes to show off, so. He thought
You
she-
should do it volunteer for the city.
Yeah, so,
She
Well,
can cut it and he can
if
have it.
they'll haul that stuff away, that's just the end of another problem.
yeah, oh, absolutely, but we'll have to ask her what she charges to cut it down, see, and.
I mean, I usually say that even if it's $5,000 to do it, I'd say.
Maybe you just give it to Lynn and he can do what he.
Yeah,
wants.
well, we want us to get a bid first, you know,
We don't want.
Well, I mean, let him hire her.
yeah, but we gotta find out what it is, if it's too much. And then he was interested in the pavilion, I mean, we bid it to tear it down, and he was wondering if he could just haul it to the pit, you know.
Well, I don't know if you can burn out there or not.
Shingles you can. That's got shingles
No,
on.
so,
Why can't you now?
Shingles have to be separate.
That's been going on for years.
but now these other people are in, and then somebody tonight said there's more people now come forward. for the
I was talking
pavilion.
with Brad Bergdahl and he said Mark Fox would like to get something together and restore it. You know, either do a fundraiser or whatever, get people together and restore it.
But there again, you can't give that to anybody on our property. And they can't, I mean, they can't use it for events. We can't have anything happen out there, you know.
That's why I think it's best if the golf course wants to take ownership of it. We do that.
It
Leave
goes
our
as
easements
a package deal.
as a package deal.
Yeah, and they got to take care of it.
Well, I think because it'd be a good fundraiser for the campground, or them to have that in the camp.
Well, I told them you didn't have to take campground too, and keep it open.
I have a little bit of information on that. I didn't know that we were interested in selling the campground and this, so I didn't do that research. But the taxes for just the golf course are gonna be approximately $5,600 a year.
Well, they can apply to have that abated.
It probably will not be abated.
Oh, really?
Yes.
But that's their deal. I mean,
Yes.
if they want
And that's what the golf course wanted to see numbers before they said, yeah, we want it.
And that's without the other portion.
That's without the other portion.
it.
That's just
Just the golf course.
just the golf course.
Yeah, that might get them out of the mood in a hurry.
So then Joni said this morning, if we absolutely want to get rid of it, which I don't know if we do or don't, but if we absolutely wanted to get rid of it, the county would take it on. Well, then we're kind of in the same boat.
Yeah, it has to be. It's a problem. She should know that with the NDIRF, though they can't insure the the buildings that are on that property when they're on rented property. Or leased property.
Yeah, that's, I mean, there you
Well, then
go.
it would be her problem, not ours. But that's what their conversation was, and I just got this information, so I did pass it on to Aaron and Melanie at the golf course, but they haven't met yet again on it, so
Did
I
he say
don't
anything like, you know, no way or anything?
know. He did, he was in the mud. His brain was not on
He made
it.
it sound like he willing to invest 12 grand to fix the roof, you know, they ended up with it, but can't let them have events out there if it's on our property, and it's just
Would the
the bottom
city,
line. I guess.
would the
Well,
city ever sell just the portion that the pavilion is on?
But that don't work, because if you're gonna have events, you're gonna have people all over around it, then you just can't do it that way.
Parking and all
Well,
of that.
what's the barometer for just to let the golf course?
Well, they're interested, but you just stepped on, hell, the taxes are gonna be 5,500. If we drop the golf course, the taxes for them would end up being just about $5,600 a year just for the golf course.
So that's without the pavilion, without the campground.
Without this other stuff.
Maybe we could give them a 5-year tax waiver.
Well, but that's the county. They said the county didn't sound like.
The
they
county
wanted to
was
do it.
not overly interested in doing that because it's for a private entity, and if you do it for one, you end up having to do it for.
It's really not a private entity, it's a golf course. I mean, it's private, but it brings people to town.
They would prefer, and this is just Joni going off what the commissioners meeting was this morning. If that's the case, they would just take it. The county would.
They would what?
The golf course?
Yes.
Give it to them.
Well, then give it to them. I didn't know that, yeah.
I mean, they hadn't fully decided. They talked about it, but if the city absolutely wants it out of their hands, the county would pick it up. If the golf club does not.
Because they're gonna charge them taxes.
Well, if the county owns it, they don't pay.
If the
anything.
county owns it, they don't. then
No,
they
they
wouldn't-
don't pay tax again.
They wouldn't tax themselves.
But-
or why they would want that. They
They're
wouldn't
gonna
want
be,
it.
they're gonna be in the same situation they were with the city on it.
Yeah.
Other
It's
than the
it's
fact
not
that
actually
their
fixing the problem. It's just passing it. But she said it would be for the betterment of the community.
Well, she's a golfer. She wants to keep it.
Well, I don't think it's not gonna be a private club. You know, per
But
se.
I don't think the decision needs to be made tonight. I think
No, we're gonna, let's
We need to get the.
get everybody out of, let's let everybody get out of the field a little bit. Get Aaron, the president of the board out there, so we get him together, then we can talk over a little bit.
Do you want me to reach out to Sherry with the tax department and have her do a workup on the campground?
Yeah,
Why not? Yes.
campground, pavilion, everything.
Because it takes quite a bit of time, so she only wants to do it if you guys are truly interested in it.
Well,
we don't know if we're gonna be interested until we do that, or they're gonna be interested.
So,
We should find out how much the taxes will be.
yeah, but you don't want them to do all that work just to not, you know.
But but they're gonna need to find out though, exactly what it's gonna cost if they assume our property.
Well, then they should ask her to do that, not us. You know, so why did I do all this work for and you guys didn't want it, then they can explain that.
Keep in mind, we're hiring her to be, I think we're moving towards that way of hiring her to be our assessor, so. Sherry.
We're taking over. for-
It essentially be billable time is what I'm saying. Like, I mean,
Well, I think just that and the grandstand, we just, I'll talk to Lynn and Don to get a bid.
well, one other thing about that too is when her and I were talking about this, the paperwork filed upstairs is not overly clear where the lines are. So where the campground is and then where the fairgrounds are versus the golf course, there's not clear.
We
So
give it
if
all
we do
to
it
them,
all
doesn't
together,
matter.
yep, then it would be
Doesn't matter.
clean.
Yeah,
It's fine.
not gonna
You do, just
survey
like
that.
Yeah, just, you know, when I told Aaron, I said, like, right now, I think we've got 20-some grand in that campground fund, so I said, it can make you a few bucks, I said, but I said, that isn't going with it. I said, "Let's keep that."
So we're still keeping the house and having these.
And then we got it, the other night, that was the other thing I told them, we gotta keep easements to the wells, you know, they gotta
And that
stay.
property for that.
Yeah,
And he was fine with that.
oh, yeah. So well, I think we just gotta wait, work with them a little.
All right,
Yeah, cause our guys spend a lot of time out there mowing. and
Yeah,
stuff, too. I
it's,
mean, that was-
it's, yeah,
That's a lot of mowing.
yeah,
Holy
yeah.
crap.
And there's a lot of work with that campground.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, derelict properties, what do you have there?
update on this.
So last fall, we had 3 properties that we had talked to the owners about. Since then, I have not followed up with them since the weather has turned. We have one that sold to a different entity or a different person. That's Ty's spouse. He sold his house. Sorry.
Who's that?
It went to somebody out of state. We're in the same kind of boat. He was here working on it. And he got called away. He'll be back in August or September. The
The new owner.
he was not given all of the information upon buying. Shocking. So him and I chatted and Kathy, and so he's under the understanding of what needs to happen. Obviously, we have to give him a little bit more time.
Ty Plus, Plus, or whatever it means.
Plus,
Bill's old house,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Somebody else bought that?
Yeah,
Out of state.
Oh, my.
Yeah, so, but he's very nice.
you were mowing it. weren't
He
you?
understands the situation that we're in. So that's one. The Petronella Corrigan house, they have yet to turn in a plan to me. And so I don't know what you guys want to do with that. If you want to proceed.
I'd
So
say
you need to proceed with, because we've had this issue with them forever. They don't want to put any money into it.
Claudette doesn't. want
But
anything to do-
she don't have nothing, her name's off it. It's Ferdinand, Petronella and Petronella's 2 daughters.
and I wouldn't bet Ferdinand gives a name.
No, he said, I don't care what you can burn it down as far as I'm concerned.
And we
But-
have to do something because the land management company, Nicolaisen, they just mow the grass and they did pass the information on to them. I've sent letters, I've talked to her on the phone. No committal. So I need to know what you guys want to do and what our legal, what can we do?
Well,
You
you can condemn the. property.
condemn it, start, get that,
Condemnation, where we left off.
same thing we
Where we
use the
left off.
Largo, just start, get it in here the next meeting, we'll just go to step 1 and we'll just start down the
Okay.
line.
Sounds good.
Now, Largo's, isn't that?
That should be done.
Whatever happened to the Cowser property? Why is that still there? They promised they were. gonna-
Yeah, she was gonna have that out last year. Have you talked to her?
I have not.
My time, call her and tell her that it's
Okay,
gotta get
so
out.
that's another one that was contingent on tearing it down. Well, here we are a month now.
Did she
into
buy the
next-
property?
She did.
Okay.
Yeah, they were supposed to tear down
It was supposed
last.
to be
Well, I
done
know
last
I know
Well-
that something happened last year.
Yeah,
Oh.
the weather turned and so
Well,
now it's time.
Yeah.
And then there's one other one, which is the Rick Reed house.
Again, send a
And
letter.
I wasn't willing to poke him quite yet, considering all the sewer problems that we had, and I was hoping that Scott would be here. Is the sewer issue put to bed? Are we done with it?
What's the-
It's for his house. Sounds like it is. It
Oh,
should be
there,
done.
yeah.
No,
They
it's-
dug
Should
it,
be
I
done.
got it new.
Okay, so I didn't want to poke him until that was
Well,
kind of,
we did get a letter, that, you know, he doesn't think it's that bad, so I
Got a
don't know. where-
question. Have you been down by that house just to the south of you, then directly across from the nursing home? That one to see, I haven't been by there to see if the
Oh,
windows are
that's
still
still
open.
out.
That grass has not been mowed there at all. either.
Okay, so that's another one that we don't, I want on that condemned list. We
Which
need to
one?
send a letter. I don't know who owns it.
I don't know.
It's one, it's directly across the street from
From the
Katie
home.
Miller's parents.
the one on the corner
The one on the corner, the one that has weeds and.
Corner
There's a big
house.
plow with weeds and.
across from the nursing home.
Yeah.
Northeast
just to the north.
corner.
I would get to
Right.
Sixth Avenue and
Earl
Douglas
would-
Street.
buy that for the garage and do something with the house if you have.
Well, it's got that camper that's been sitting there for 4 years with the back end of it's crushed down.
So is that something, I know last time you and Derek went around, is that something you
There's-
even,
The windows have been open for 3 years straight now.
Yeah.
Which is
Three
three
winters.
winters.
Yeah, I'm sure it's moldy up and vermins and everything else living in it.
Basically, we were sending letters out to either do something with this property or we're gonna go in.
Or we're gonna start, okay,
Marvin got all that money to remodel that whole house when that money come into town. And we went down there and did the roof, put a new roof on it, insulated the roof to the attic. Whole ball of wax, windows, sheetrock.
Yeah.
And just to let it go.
Well, who is the
I don't know.
owner
who
of
owns it.
record?
Which you'll have to find out because I don't know who it is now. It's somebody
I-
from out of state.
I don't know.
Because he was arguing with
Right.
Wayne's about having to pay the meter fee every month.
What are we talking about?
That same house.
Oh, this corner house?
Yeah.
Oh,
The
yeah,
one that the weeds are this, well, as high as I can reach. down
that's
between-
several properties in town.
Oh, you probably can reach down from either. Okay. Because there's that house that they tore down in between it. Remember that we had given authorization they could build the house. Well, the weeds on that property are like 8 feet high.
Yeah,
That hasn't been
yeah,
touched.
get Scott, to start mowing some of them and send them a bill. Put it on her.
We can't just mow them though. They're, I mean,
What-
they need to be.
Well, you can tell them,
Yeah, so what our
It's kind of a
typical
double
procedure has
Yeah.
been is we send them a letter, which when they're out of state is hard.
yeah,
Give them 5 days. By the time they get the letter, it's already been 5 days,
Just-
you know?
you complied with it, that's all you can do.
Just a crawl
But a
space.
lot of these, they've gotten letters in the past. I mean,
And again, Berg's house too, they mowed the front yard and the side yard, but the main yard to the, on the east side is this high,
Which bird is
the bird house.
this? Bird, oh, wow.
which one is the
Dale's
bird
mowing
house?
He's
John,
mowing the main
Berg's-
part of the yard, but he didn't do the backyard. That's, they took the fence down and now the
Oh,
backyard.
that's down so you can see it, no, okay.
I don't know. which
That I
house.
got a feeling if you
Also
mention
the
it to
highway.
Dale, he take care of it. Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I think
Next
that
to
should be
Lisbon.
condemned. that.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
Used to be the Kessler's house.
Well, they, like,
Okay.
he wanted to fix it up and his sister said, no, we're not putting any more money into that house.
I don't know.
They,
any
Dale
of
went
this.
through the house.
I don't know.
There's no floors left in, on the main floor.
If you give me an address,
Oh, that one should be about,
Fifth Avenue and 17.
probably about
Yep, 17.
817, something like that, 811.
It's right on the corner of the Highway 17 and Fifth Avenue.
Fifth and ninth.
It's the one that
Yellow, isn't it?
Bob Kennedy and them went and cleaned out the yard for him
I don't know.
and stuff.
anything about that.
Which one is this one?
The old Kessler- the Kessler house.
Yeah.
The old Kessler, house, all Kessler.
Well, you guys are, you guys killed me. Oh my gosh.
I haven't been
Guys, I
along
didn't
that
grow up
much.
here. I don't know what those names are.
Well, I don't know all the names either, but I just know it's how it, since I've been here 12 years and it's been the bird house.
Yeah,
'Cause she had like
she used to
300
raise
birds and-
birds upstairs.
Bird poop all
Yeah,
over.
we just.
Had a fire and.
Yeah, it was on fire once.
And the fireman went and put it out.
Yeah.
That's what
They
happened.
said it was straw and manure and they got upstairs,
Yeah.
bird, that deep. And that's where they lived,
So I'm gonna like say one more thing about these derelict properties. There's been a little chatter on Facebook. I maybe started something, I don't know. Kind of to the effect of why is the city picking on us when the city's properties look like crap? I don't really know how to like combat that because there's a little bit of validity there.
What are they complaining about with the city or?
Well, because I put something out there about mowing the grass, and of course, that was probably not the right thing to do. I don't know.
People are,
You're supposed
so if your grass is 8 inches or taller, it's supposed to be
And it
mowed. That's
claims
the
the
city
city
ordinance.
Has
Yeah.
grass changes all.
Yeah, that's what it is. Because we're behind too. Like everybody's behind right now because of all the rain.
Almost.
Everything has, grown.
All day long.
I do too. I
Sounds
love
great.
So
Yeah.
I'm a little bit, because we also have some of our own properties that are looking pretty rough and we're working on it. And I guess that's,
I talked to Scott about it tonight on the way, and he said they're gonna get mowing quicker.
yeah, they're doing the best that they can. I kind of started a little bit of a fire on Facebook and
Oh, well, I can say something.
it's just kind of the way it goes.
The one thing you're always gonna end up with that, no matter
A
what.
little
you do.
bit,
Whatever
yeah.
you put out, you're gonna get some negative.
Yes,
comments.
definitely.
That's not bad.
No comments, no use to start a tit for tat.
Right.
Because you just.
Keep-
You
It just,
get in
it just
trouble.
ends into a.
Don't say
Yeah, you can put
anymore.
up, So comments aren't allowed.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah,
answer that
actually,
stuff.
by
Just-
law.
Oh, because you're city owned.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Don't answer that stuff, just leave it alone. If you saying it keeps blooming on.
But I agree
Ignore
with
it.
that deal that you put about not blowing grass in the street again. It's still happening on 281. I know the people that are doing it, and I wanna just like, come on, you guys, you know better than that, and it's still happening.
And so is that something, I mean, I know the ordinance book says we can find them. I mean, it is what it is, but is that something that we are choosing to, do we just send a letter to those particular
No, we just
people?
have Bruce sweep it up and then dump it in their yard.
Yeah, but
Can we put a
I'm
note on
so,
the
I'm
water
so
bill
against the
again? Please do
mowing
not
the
mow
grass in the street, because I'm
We
telling
can.
you what,
Mhm.
if
I
you
could
go
do
and
that.
look at our storm drain, they're full of grass, scum on top. And it's a bunch of crap, because all it is screwing up our whole system.
Yeah.
And
Take it serious.
I don't know, I tell them guys, I catch them, Lane, he's the worst one. He you know, he just mows it out in the street.
Well, a little bit is one thing, but I'll mow backwards 2 round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Before you go.
I know, so do I, but that,
Yeah.
they don't, I don't know, they don't get the drift. I get ticked off every
Just
time.
tell
I
me,
go
you know,
and look
that
at one.
your water in your basement, it's coming from part of that. The
What?
storms- The water in your basement is coming from that, it's because we
Right,
can't get the
right.
storm sewers up
That's
all the water.
exactly
won't
what's
rain.
happening.
You know,
I'd like to put something in the paper exactly like that.
Rudy says. Blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah.
There you go.
there, Rudy, tell her what you wanna say. She's writing for the paper right there.
I have been told to watch my pen, but.
You don't use any names, you just.
It's loud and clear right here.
The city council is requesting that you not blow grass in the street as it plugs our storm drains, which can actually cause backups.
Yeah, what can cause your basements to flood, that's a fact.
Yeah, there's truth to that, yeah.
And to mow your grass, it makes the town look better.
Well, yeah, especially with the big shindig coming in July, so. City assessor.
We don't have the information yet. It will be presented at the next meeting about how much the county would be asking for to do the assessment for us.
Election.
You know, I think that's kind of a moot point. It's the same taxpayers' money, whether it's county or city, and.
Well, they should don't ask for more than Jerry was getting from us.
Well, I
No, it's gonna be a lot more than that.
But,
You know, Jerry is.
you know,
You're forced to do it. I mean, that's the trouble. You can't get out of it, you know. Sad to say.
Does the assessor have to be qualified to a
Oh, yeah.
certain extent?
Yeah,
There's classes because like when they're hiring, or there was a deal on there, if you want to become a city tax assessor, you can go to online, Bismarck offers classes.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Assessor 1, assessor 2, assessor 3, you know, you can, I think Jerry's like a higher up assessor.
firm enough, you aren't gonna just talk her into much anything unless, you know, I've been up there visiting with her on different stuff, and I think
She's a nice gal, I've known her for quite a while, she's worked at the hospital, I used the hospital now for 5 years.
okay. So. Election then is next Tuesday, week from today.
Yeah.
Are you working then?
Mhm. So I'll be at the armory all day long.
is a polling place, that's what I was gonna ask, the armory.
The armory is, I attended some training last week, and then June 13, I will be there and we'll be counting absentee ballots and processing those the day before. So the 14th, I won't be in the office at all, and I can't leave. So, and then Kathy will be manning part of the office for part of the day anyway.
Are you gonna have any Republican and Democrat observers there to make sure that it's properly?
I'm kind of excited actually, to get involved in that. It'll be fun. Of course, encourage everyone else to vote.
Well, you want to complain about what's going on, you gotta be able to participate, you know,
Mhm.
that's all there is to it.
So the absentee ballots, I don't know if everyone knows how this works, but you turn them in as of Monday, we count them. So if anyone wants to do that yet, other than that, come on in on Tuesday. I think it's 8 to 7, I think is what the hours are.
Polling hours. huh?
Yeah.
Is there a school board election on that, this ballot too?
I thought I saw something in the paper about that.
Kathy mailed a great big box of envelopes. I wonder if that wasn't part of it today.
I knew that Linda went up and got absentee ballots. And then I saw Joni and I asked her if I could get some. What?
It's okay. It's okay. Anybody want a almost 3-year-old?
Yeah,
I don't care.
Okay. Anything else on, no, Raleigh's gone. What should we do about that? Let's do the meeting and meeting. He comes back, where'd everybody go?
Did we get any bids on the line?
Just what Aaron had presented,
From the golf course
no,
Private.
or private?
private. And when him and I didn't elaborate, when him and I visited about it, he didn't put a number on there. He said, is the city looking to gain from it? Or is it like, hey, take it off my hands kind of thing?
Until we get this golf course settled, I think
Yeah.
that's gonna have to stay in the background.
Is there any other old business? Move on to new. Pavilion bids, I guess there really hasn't been a bid that people expressing some interest in it. I guess we need to kind of let it.
I set out to do the end of that, so this is settled.
No, we can't. So we'll just kind of let,
Maybe talk to Mark Fox. See what he's thinking.
when's he coming, I guess.
He's here.
Oh,
He's here.
oh, he told me he'll come in July, so.
No, he's.
Building permits. Yes, they're already approved, we acknowledge them.
This one is just to note that was that Tom Groton one that we had talked about, the shed or whatever, and then the fence. So
Okay, does he get a late fee then, or?
he doesn't, because he had initiated it in earlier on, and I said until you
Okay.
do the fence. Yep.
Well, you got a price for a wood fence and a vinyl fence? You know, this is exact same price. No. The lumberyard said the vinyl prices, our wood prices are up so much that the vinyl fence costs the same as a wood fence.
Well, how can
If you hire a guy to
the
go in.
wholesale lumber thing has gone down 67%.
That's what I mean, yeah, I heard that.
Why is a 2x4 still 4 times what it was 2 years ago?
Yeah, this, something just doesn't jive out.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, you're fine, right?
I do the
Okay, campground signs, this is a couple of.
So these were just a couple workups. I know what I think about it, but what do you guys think about
Do
it?
they have a price on these?
So we put, we put what, $600 down on it.
600, yeah.
And I think it's a little bit more than 600.
Left.
I can't
Okay.
remember, but these were just a couple workups that they had. And as you can read, it would be an 8x4 or 4x8 sign to attach to the existing structure that's there. The more I started thinking about this, I think that we should take the logo off, first of all, because if we do sell it, we don't really want our city logo on there. And then a couple of different options. We had initially had our address up there, but we decided it should be the physical address of the campground on there, not not our contact information. And we have our number on there, but I don't know that, I don't really know, like,
Well, okay, we can do the sign, yeah, it's gonna cost us money now, but if the golf course takes it over, they're responsible for re-signing.
absolutely.
And so
And
Who is this Rebecca?
she works at Extreme Signs and Graphics. Yeah, she works for Mandy. She's a graphic artist.
Hold off on this for a couple of weeks too, and we get to find out a little more from the campground before, or the golf course before we order it.
I mean, what's a little bit of more time isn't gonna matter.
I do like the second one better.
I do too.
The bottom.
Yeah.
Stands out a little more.
The only thing that
Still the
Why- why-
capital of
I
the
mean-
world anymore though.
we are,
Even why,
Trademark.
it is the city campground, no matter what, even if we sell it, it's still. the city
even
campground.
if it's not city
Just take the
government run,
logo off?
it's still the city campground. So
I like it.
The city is one of them.
This is, it just seems like brighter, it stands out more.
I also thought, and this was my own thought, was this looks a little aged. We want something new. We already have aged. I personally, that was my personal thought, is I would bring so that the corners weren't like rusty looking and just make it maybe that same color, just not with the rusty corners. I don't know if you think differently, but that was me. You like it?
Rusty's in.
Yeah, rusty's in, but we have a rusty
What does
sign.
that say in the background?
It's just.
It's just their copyright so that you can't steal their image.
It would just be white.
It would, we could do it off-white or, you know, a creamy color if you like that antique look. Or we could keep it just as is. I just kind of thought we have a rusty one. I don't,
You do it without that edge and it would still.
and it would still look nice.
It was a solid white or
Or
whatever.
is this going to be that
Big sign.
plastic cardboard that's vinyl?
This is Alumacore. So
It's like the
It's aluminum
you
with-
can't do sign, the sign up on the building on, you can do better than can do sign. It's like that, it's
It's a
metal.
honeycomb.
Yeah. Is that isn't plastic, that's aluminum. huh?
Yep. We did our signs at the agency at the back of our building. We put those up too because the other ones keep fading so bad.
one other thing about the signs is, so this is in the campground. We also have 2 signs on the highway that are terrible, really bad. What I would pose if we keep it or whatever, just those very clean, little rectangle brown recreation signs. They're like, I don't know, this big.
It says
The
campground.
highway
It's just a campground symbol
sign.
or whatever with an arrow or
I think
something
that's
simple.
like the DOT.
They do that, you don't have to pay for it. I don't think.
So they had told us last fall, late fall, the signs, if we don't do something about them, we lose the privilege to have a sign on the highway.
Who said that?
The DOT.
They're the ones that should be putting it up.
Well, there are signs. There's a big, I don't know, what is it, wood?
Yeah, that one out by the tanks, I think there's one out there.
There's several. I think there's 3 roaming around
And
that
then
are
the
really
park,
bad.
there's one that says kind of campground.
So it's something that I would pose just to do the simple recreation brown.
Get rid of those.
There's no
Yeah, they could
maintenance.
even put one on First Street, you know, right in Jack's.
An arrow.
Yep,
There, and I think those are pretty reasonable.
they're like 30-40 bucks.
Mhm. So I don't know, you guys just want to sit on this for a little while?
Yeah, I think, let's see what happens with the golf course.
Keep it on the back burner. till-
Okay,
Just table it. Okay, public works, tree removal, what's this more Ross found?
yeah, we have several that Ross found that need to be removed. I don't have the list. I passed it on to Scott. I gave him
How many can he do?
the work order. I don't know, he never told me, but the work order says either chop it down or hire somebody to do it.
He said there's that last meeting that he attended, there's over 150 trees in town that need to be down ASAP.
There's one blew over at the next townhouse, it too. but
Well, you're a little different, you gotta get I'll get that off. if you do it.
How many of those are the cities? Trees.
Not many. They're private owners, but they have to come down.
Well, they need to be notified.
Well,
Ross has
he sent
letters.
letters out last year. And some people contacted him, some just said, we're not doing that, we're not paying to have them done. If they wanna do it, the city can do it. He's like, they're on your property, you have to take them down, they're a nuisance tree.
Well, there again, they're gonna end up having to get somebody, hire somebody, take them down, put them on their taxes. I mean, they need to be told that on a letter that
Yeah,
you either do it
And I think we
or.
told him at that last meeting, he said he was gonna resend out the letters that he did last year as a reminder.
mhm.
Cause like he even said on Marsh and Izzy and Vernonville properties, there's 5 trees that come down on that.
I mean, they're not city trees, we can't take them down. I mean, that's
We do have a few that are city trees, and those are the ones that I delegated to
the
Scott.
one. we got.
That's
I
right,
think
that's
there's
right,
like
that's
five.
Scott's gotta do that.
Yeah, I thought there was like 5. And that's where that I handed you, those tree chopping things, like those 5 trees would go into that budget, that forestry budget. That is over right now,
Budget now.
so.
You ready to fall asleep? Right? You ready to fall asleep? Arthritis. Oh my lord.
You should see that it's improved dramatically.
Lift stations, Sadie and Scott went and shot that one on 7th, there by Hunts, and it's gotta have a pump. It won't blow naturally, so. And there's one pump in there, so that's something I think we need to look at getting another pump in, which is supposed to have been happening for the last 5 years, and it's never been put back in.
That whole thing is a mess, so I mean, the curbs are falling in, they're
Yeah.
tipped. the whole
Where is
thing
this one at?
Well, let's see, they
Seventh
got
Street.
a goofy sewer down that alley, and it-
Yeah,
The whole road needs to be fixed.
the road is bad too, that's what I mean, we need to look at this on this sewer.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
It's got a bunch of cement risers on it, and they leave that. He says when water comes, storm water comes, it just comes pouring.
well, yeah, they're in the pump.
Goes into that lift station bad.
Well, that thing should just all be redone if we do this
And then-
sewer project.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we should just redo the whole thing and then get a new street above it.
Yeah, when I shot that thing, I went to the highest height, to the bottom of the highest height, and there's only an 1.5 inch difference between the bottom of the highest height and that Second Avenue sewer.
So it's flat.
It's flat, and you've got 2 pipes well below that
Mhm.
that come in.
Another one that I never thought of, that evergreen next to Gary Allen's house. That whole cul-de-sac drains into our sanitary sewer, right by his house. There's just a big hole there.
And a lot, big rain.
It's bad. I mean, that should be,
He's,
I
I think he's got his drain goes into the storm sewer because like he's got a pipe into the ground in the back of the house.
but I think all that could run north, but on the line or go to that mess to tap in up there at the skating rink.
On the other side of where the trailer was.
talking with Scott, I think in a couple weeks, they're coming to do that smoke deal. And they're gonna smoke all the sewers and find out which sanitaries or the storm sewers are feeding the sanitaries, and if we've got any major leaks or cracks in the sewer system.
How does that smoking? work?
So what they do is they got a fan that goes over top of the manhole, they'll put smoke bombs down there and they'll go in. So there has to be letters sent out to homeowners to make sure you've got water in your floor drains. If they're dry, you're gonna get smoke. And tell them this is what's gonna happen.
But how do you know if somebody's pumping in there? Say,
No,
No,
what it's gonna, you'll find out if you've got any leaks in your sanitary sewers.
If things are leaking.
And if you've got storm sewers feeding, it's gonna come out of the storm sewer grates.
oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just testing them. That's what it is.
They're
But
basically,
that doesn't test the guys that are pumping in there.
No,
No.
no.
I think that's the least. That's- Yeah, there's people doing it, but I think whenever it rains is when those guys have to call the pumps, because we've got
We
sanitary,
have,
storm sewers feeding sanitary.
we have several big rains, just like we have here with all the water. And we never, all I did is I took the floats and I moved them up And I let it fill up, it would come up to 3/4, but it handled it, I never had to go out there.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know why these guys couldn't have did that or tried it.
But these things aren't maintained, they're losing ground.
Yeah,
Huh?
They're losing ground. Those electric pumps both are running.
Oh, they
It's
did?
it's coming up.
yeah,
Okay.
They're losing ground.
Well, then, the other thing I looked at. None of this ever happened. I looked at both lift stations. When they're having trouble out there. Lift stations in town are just, they're down right to the bottom. I got a feeling that when they dug that drain tile in that field over there, I don't know if any water went over on that ditch side, or I think it's still getting groundwater somewhere in between.
well,
That's a good
I,
possibility, yeah.
I would guess, Rudy, as wet as the ground is, that there's water draining in that sewer all the way out there. Because
Probably.
them old clay pipes are cracking and then the water's going in.
Because the lift stations in town look pretty darn good.
Yeah.
You know.
But how's that one out there? The biggest one with the biggest pumps overwhelmed.
Yeah,
Well,
it's leaking in all the way
is
out.
that whole thing need to be replaced, or can that whole manhole thing with those pumps, or is that
That's-
still good?
No, that's what we're talking about doing is putting
That's gonna be part of our project.
Uh-huh.
a force main in. on
Put in a
50.
force main up by the wa, put it up by the
pasta
tracks,
plant.
by the pasta plant, so you just force it down. You won't have a lift station down.
Yeah, force mains are one of the main things nowadays, that's the tickets, you know.
So instead of having an 18-inch pipe feeding that down there, you'll have probably a 10 or 12-inch.
I think we can get by with an 8.
Maybe even 8, they said, yeah.
Yeah.
And there, you can't overdo it, I've been asking these guys a little bit, but then if somebody wants to run their water in the sewer, that's actually good for them. It keeps everything clean and flowing, as long as you got the damn capacity to get it out.
The main thing is, like, we filled our cells up. And we've got a hole out each end on cell 4 at the muskrat. They do seal up themselves. The one last year did seal up by itself. We didn't have to have everybody go out. I don't know if these have changed or not. I haven't been out there lately, if it's still leaking. So that's not good. So we were gonna have an emergency dump. We're holding off on that. Because we don't want to run that into the coulees right away. We're trying to get it settled down.
Coolies are running so hard yet, you know.
Yeah, so
Yeah, 281.
Well,
is like
I've noticed the lagoon out at Hexagon is about as full as I've ever seen it for the 1st of June.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
just won't quit raining, you know, it's, yeah. And then the other thing on the lift, then you know, we've been talking about this for a couple, 3 years, we need to get something done with the bus barn, that control box, you know, so I told them to send us a bid, and we tried, you know, here, what, three years ago, I think it was 25,000, now the new stuff with the new prices, it's up to 38. You know, it just don't, you know, they can't, then trouble getting parts, and I mean, it's the same old, that everything else, you know.
I'm really concerned with the way that inflation is going, and if we go into a recession, which we very well could be, guess what? One of the things that will happen, Raleigh, with the property taxes, people aren't gonna
You're
pay,
just not gonna pay
and
them.
then we're not gonna get the money back in here.
Yeah.
This whole deal is all screwed up and headed the wrong direction.
I hate to say it, some of the stuff we almost kind of probably have to do now, because if we wait a couple of years, it's gonna be.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where we're headed.
You know, yeah, well, Rudy, you want these storm sewers checked too, and I mean, you know, we talked about using that ARPA money for one big project, but we met with Joni that other night, and she said, no, if you got projects to do, just do them, you gotta do
I went out
one
and looked at.
paperwork, you gotta do it, that's
I went out
all.
and looked at the storm sewer on Highway 281 and where it comes out. And that ditch, it must be draining awful good, either that or it's not running real good. I mean, it usually eats a pretty good hole, but there was no water even flowing at just today. Out by the car washer, but what happened is out of Georgie's Field, where that slough and.
Boy, it really cut a hole in that, didn't it? Just like,
But where our pipe is running through before it gets the outlet, 30 feet back, if somebody goes in there, they're gonna get hurt bad. It's deep and it ate all the way down to the culvert. The big culvert that you crawled in, that's showing and everything, and and you can't see it because the grass is growing up. I almost stepped in the wrong spot, but it's not good. And I think maybe one of the guys should probably fill that in, even though it's a state ditch or whatever.
well, you mean there's a spot in after, not the culvert, but where it's washed.
Coming back toward the car wash, you can see where it drained through out of the field. And it made a turn and it went, and it just ate the ground.
Actually, well, maybe being out of the field, but that's part of the deal with the state. We have to maintain that ditch with our
Okay.
drain going out of there.
But I'll have those guys, they're gonna have to haul some stuff
Just
in
haul
there.
some gravel in there or something.
And then I had, what else? Scott mentioned to me tonight, with all these basements that flooded, there's quite a few of them. Everybody's got all their crap out in the yard and in the garage, but they're going through it. And Scott would like to see another free dump weekend, not this weekend, but
Maybe next one.
the following
Nice.
weekend, if you could get
That
something.
deal
in the
behind,
You know, like,
Gloria
I don't
Morris.
know what the day is.
That's all
Be-
full of water.
Not this weekend. but
I shot that one too.
Yep.
That can drain north.
It can.
Yeah,
with
so
the
I went
same
not
time
too
he
far
said
over,
it worked.
you know, over that north
I
edge.
can do that.
And I only come up with 6 inches, so then I went farther and I had a 1.5 drop. So I mean, we could actually get it and clean it some and it will flow north. Okay,
What's this one on?
but Scott talked to the
Bonnie
railroad,
Glory is the water by the railroad.
Oh, yeah.
That will run more.
Oh, Will.
you know, the railroad guy agreed that it probably should go to the east.
Will they let you bore a?
And that's where he got wishy-washy. You know,
You
and if you put a petition in now to do that, I don't know what the railroad would charge you. I mean, that's something we'd have to find out. And then how far down the road, I mean,
Well, when I looked at it, it looked like it would certainly go to the east, you know.
oh, definitely.
Run across Elevator Road.
But if, like I said, it'll run north too, if we need to do it that way.
Yeah, with the ditch being with the ditch over there.
Some of that, just probably throw the 3-inch pump in and go over the tracks and do it and get done with it and put everything away, you know. But
You
how
hear
often
the
do
train
you
coming
do
in,
it?
the darn hose off.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, they were through the days.
he had told us before that if we communicate with him, he would give us the track for 4 hours.
Say that again, man.
If we communicate with him, he'd give us the track for a few hours. So he'd
Oh, yeah.
shut it down.
They don't come that often. I wouldn't even
No,
worry
I
about it.
wouldn't even worry about it. I could pump that down and just keep an eye on things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like once every 2 days or whatever, or 3 days.
Oh, it ain't even that often.
It's sitting there pretty good because that water has nowhere to go. It's probably-
It's gonna have to, if we go to the north, that's the north.
Yeah.
Either way, it's gonna be north.
Anyway, we go back. What do you think, Rudy, on this lift station? Do you think we can get after that? That control box on that?
Yeah, I think if we're gonna do it, just we'll do it. and get
It ain't
it
getting any
over with.
cheaper.
It ain't gonna get cheaper.
No.
We got ARPA money, you know, and I also think you should have Scott or whoever figure out a camera crew that can check that storm drain you wanna check, because
Yeah,
ARPA will work for that. I mean, we need to keep going on some of this stuff to make sure. you know.
yeah, like on that storm, I wonder for length, for how far could some of the people go with their, so.
I don't know, I guess.
I mean.
I know
they-
how far, we'd have to, take a look and see where the storm drains are at. You know,
Like Hydro Clean, like they had like a 500 at least, I think on that one, but if you could find somebody that had a long one where they didn't have to keep moving from storm drain to storm drain.
I'm sure that's what we're gonna have.
But it'd be nice to find, even though a guy just had that could go a block, that'd be like 300 feet, you could, the charge probably wouldn't be quite as bad, you know.
When you get down south of 17. you know,
Yeah,
That's getting some big and long runs there.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Maybe you wanna check into that. I mean, we gotta get that stuff checked, so. He did call me tonight on this bid, and he said that is the worst case scenario. If everything went right, this could be cheaper too. I mean, it's, you know how that goes.
Yeah.
And then this is all tied in with that, our alarm systems, the same as we got with them now, I guess.
This isn't that newer one that's cheaper? That newer alarm that's cheaper, that's $10 a month, instead of.
I don't know, I have to ask you about that, I guess, I don't.
I just didn't see go to that one, where they have their own cell.
Yeah, that's, if they went in these other
We're
ones.
gonna switch over, that's the one we want to go to.
So I don't know if that might cost a lot more to put in. So, yeah, we would.
Looking at it.
You got jail cells upstairs there?
I know, right? I'm sorry, guys.
I'll make a motion. All right. Motion made, is there a second? All right.
What
motion
can they
made.
do? I'm only here for one more.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what we'll get blamed for.
All of it.
You want a second? of that?
I'll second.
Siggy did already. So. Motion was made second to update the control panel at the bus barn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
I put up a tour the day that was doing this tractor. I mean, even worse.
Fighting. All they do.
Discipline when a young kid don't know.
They don't have a babysitter. Same old story.
And the younger generation, they're not kids, they don't have the discipline power.
Well, not anymore.
When you said no, that, no.
Drill sergeant, I heard.
But it's gone, it's gone.
Don't worry, my kids are scared.
The
of me.
kids can do what they want.
That's the way it should be.
But my kids are scared of me and that's the way I like it.
I'm working on it.
Well, some parents just want to be friends. You can't be friends with your kids. You're
No,
not friends.
you gotta have some rules, you gotta
Some
enforce
some points, I mean, gotta be the parents.
grass. I don't know what that was. I supposed to stop about not getting mowed or. But that's-
We already talked about that.
That grass, that's
Yeah.
just about the mowing, yeah, that's all,
Yeah.
so that's done. North Central Planning Board, what are they?
Before we go to that, I had one thing about the grounds. We talked about fencing in that grandstands for this event.
Snow fence, yeah,
Yeah, snow fence,
which
so.
isn't gonna stop anybody.
And that's
from
kind
doing
of, what, you know, Sig and I had talked about different kinds of fencing, but since that conversation, I think there's been some things that have changed.
Now that they got somebody that can tear it down.
Right.
Go with the cheaper.
So if we should do snow
it. Yeah,
fence,
but I wouldn't bet that'll happen. in
Snow
time.
fence and signs every 50 feet.
Do not
This-
enter.
the snow fence, how many posts? I think the hardware store suggested every 10 feet. That seems like a lot.
Well, you mean you just don't want them up on top of it, or you don't want them underneath?
No,
it, or
snow fence, you can put one every 15, 20 feet.
15, 20 feet. And then,
Some of them you can hook right to the cement.
Can't you put some sign up radioactive or poisonous area? Enter.
Well, that's
So-
something you might do it on purpose.
the snow fence I can get through Jesse. And then do we have the time for our guys to do it?
Well, that don't take no time at all, to drive a few posts and hang that. You just tell them to make time.
Okay.
There's no, you're not gonna hire anybody to do that, that's so
That's
simple that.
Couple hours for 3 guys.
Wow,
I think the snow
That's
fence
a
we'd
piece
need
of
a
paper
roughly, we'd need
I don't know,
350
They must
feet.
have a post driver in there. I would think.
I've got one if you
Yeah,
need
I do
one.
too.
Tell them I've got, or Jeremy's got a post driver, because that's not gonna take no time. That
Okay,
ain't gonna stop anybody from going in there anyway, if they decide to.
We
go
did
there,
our due
they'll go.
diligence.
It's just that
Okay.
we're butts
Yeah,
covered
and if-
somewhat.
On that note, have you heard anything back from our insurance?
have not heard anything back, which to me is good news, I guess.
Jason.
Corday had submitted his event insurance to us.
Yeah.
So that went to our insurance and it went to Bruce Gibbons along with a request for Bruce to draw up some sort of agreement. I don't know if, I haven't checked back. It's only been a week or so since I've sent that to him, so I didn't
Not
poke him
liability.
again. Yep, give him a little bit of time to work that out. I thought if I don't hear anything in another week and a half, then I would poke at Bruce again and see if he could
Yeah,
do
I
it.
actually talked to Jason this week, this Friday last week, he was in Devil's Lake. And,
Well, I hope that thing works.
well, from what they've sold in tickets now, the raffle, they're only selling 3,000 tickets, and I think they sold their last ticket for the raffle. The dance tickets, they were $70. They had to sell so many of them at that price. And then now they're down to $35. So they met a minimum of at least 500 tickets for the dance. It sounds like the dance is starting at 5, going till midnight,
And where's that gonna be at?
fairgrounds.
I thought it
In
was
the pavilion
6.
or
Behind it.
It's in the grass.
In the grass. They're putting a semi trailer back up to the grandstand, basically, what it sounds like, the band's be playing on this.
Okay.
I
Semi
wonder what they're gonna do for power. So
generators. They did that when they had that band out there for the street dance that one year. They had.
coming into the grandstand. that's
I
all.
think, I mean, that big box is tipped over. and
It's
everything
the
else.
wire, it's dead. They said it's dead.
So they can get a generator.
I think they're looking about 3,000 and plus people coming to this event here.
Is what they're thinking. Well, they're hoping, but I don't know.
They said, I think they started, they mentioned 3 to 5, and pretty soon it was 5 to 10, so we don't know, and I don't, the town can't handle that kind of traffic, so I don't know what's gonna
Yeah,
happen.
it's a
And
lot.
it sounds like they're planning out 80 campsites out at the.
Oh, driving range.
Driving range.
There's power at our well, you know, and that's not very far away from there. I don't know.
That inspection well, we gotta put something on top of that. That deal is, I don't know. Barrel or something.
Yeah.
Is anybody worried about what kind of people that's gonna draw in this town? Is it anybody like, you know? Or anything?
Jason
Property
said
line.
that, all the motorcycle clubs have been told that there will be no shenanigans and they're making it, you know, one and done. You know, he's been pretty adamant with the guys and stuff, then they visited and like, Ryan Givens has been on the radio talking about it and everything and promoting it and stuff, so.
But I did see a sign hanging, I wonder if that was at the drugstore one day, it says first annual, so.
Well, it's the first one, you don't know if they'll do more depending on how well it goes.
This one worked.
He goes, but he's heard some negative comments too, that he goes, it's for our youth. His main thing is for youth. Because they're gonna provide scholarships for the youth, and or if there's a fire in a household, they're gonna help out if they can do stuff like that. It's not just gonna be for providing scholarships to the trade schools, it's a foundation to donate. It's a charitable donation type thing.
Mhm.
So he doesn't want it to be perceived as some big loot man.
Yeah.
It's to raise money for good, not bad.
Right.
And he's gotten some negative feedback, which he's not happy about by certain people in town.
So it's meeting people.
Yeah,
I got one more thing too, I forgot to mention. Are we gonna charge Belders on this curb? This is the second time they nailed this and it's cost us a lot of money and a lot of water.
What did they do?
Well, in between his building and Larry Overall's, you know, there's 2 curb boxes there and they know they're there. They hit it, and tore it up one other time and we had to dig it up and fix it. And now they did it again and we lost a lot of water on this.
Who hit it? Belzer? or
One of
whatever?
the guys that they had the skid steer in there scraping the dirt. You know, maybe they didn't,
Oh,
maybe they didn't tell him.
I don't know if that, I think that was, the curb box is up, moved up in the frost too. The other one's down, the one in the. spot.
Yeah, but
are they right in the alley, so they're not, or is that driveway?
Actually, yeah, right out in front of Larry's.
Well,
front
what
door, just out the-
What happened is after all that rain, that's where all that rain off of that roof.
Yeah,
That's
off
where it
Belcher's roof.
shoots. It shoots through the air right in the middle of that road and it eats it out, you know.
Yeah.
And they were probably fixing that. Well, I don't know, I mean, I can't see where we should pay for that. You know, he's in there and he hit that thing and I was over there and it pulled the pipe right out because it, you know, at the bottom, it lifted it
Can we
up.
somehow,
Why don't we move it, when they dug it up, move it over?
Well, it is far enough away from it. It's not in between the buildings. It's actually out quite a ways toward Elevator Road.
Did that one feed anything? Did they find out if it fed?
Yeah, that one went to Larry's shop.
It did, okay.
Yeah. That one.
And it was on
I
us,
think
they
that
said
one
to
did,
shut it
yeah. And then
off.
the other one, I think, went to PV. Yeah.
Well, the last time this happened, though, we shut them both down and PV still had water.
Oh, okay.
So
then-
nobody seems to know where any of this shit goes.
I know where, well, PV's, I think, is on the other side of Larry's shop where they drive around back there. It's over there someplace.
on the Miller side?
Hmm?
On the Miller side?
Yeah, toward that way, yeah.
Us to calm down,
But
do it again, we're gonna pay for it. I
Yeah,
guess.
tell him
You
this
know.
is his last chance, otherwise he's.
because we couldn't get a guy to fix it, we had to just let it run. And it ran down Elevator Road, you know.
Yeah, it went from Monday till, well, the next Monday when they fixed it, or Tuesday, I
It was
guess.
about a week,
Yeah, a little over a week.
a lot of water, you know.
We shut the main off there, then
You wouldn't,
Well, maybe that's why Wade's ditch, he said Wade's ditch on the east side of his building or whatever. He's never had water in the 50 years he's been in Cando or whatever.
yeah,
Never Hendrickson, where he's got his shop. There's water sitting there. He goes, it's not much, but there's never been water like that in
Yeah,
50 years.
Why do we put the beehive down there? I
Well,
was
you
wondering
know, that,
when we put that beehive.
yeah, then that thing doesn't have a lot of,
That thing's about flat.
and it doesn't have much capacity, you know.
It's only a 4-inch tube, I think.
When that 2.2 inches came in 2 days there was flooded
Yeah,
right
yeah,
across the
that's-
road, but it all went away eventually.
Yeah, across the road.
well, I think. When I showed him where to shut the water off, and I don't think it was underwater, you know, about that far underwater. One of the shut off. And I think he shut off a fire hydrant and thought it was a water shut off. And that's why it kept running. So he had the guy from Devil Lake come up, one of the guys that on that crew.
Midland.
Yeah, and he goes, well, that isn't a real nasty leak, you know, you could kind of tell. He said, just let it run until we get here next Tuesday.
Yeah, you come up on a Friday and look at it.
Yeah, on Friday he was up looking at it.
That was on Memorial Day weekend. I didn't.
Oh,
think it was
very-
strong.
Very,
Because Scott was shutting down Main Street and everything, and I said, this is the shut off. And the other shut off is over right by the Cenex tanks. Both tanks.
Yeah.
We just replaced it. Oh. I said, get your waders on, go in that ditch, pull the cover and shut that off. Oh, then.
okay.
Anyway, that's kind of what took place there. And I don't know, I just wanted to bring it up. If Belzer should pay for it or not, but I don't know.
Next time, tell him, or if it happens again, they'll pay for it.
Okay, what's this North Central planning? What's that?
We got a call and I don't have documentation in writing, but I got a call from Sandy Shively. Gary Schock was on the North Central Planning Board. And so he's no longer there. They have 20 board members, and so they're looking for another one. And this board meets once a month in Devil's Lake, so I have my pick of which council I would love. Jeremy's turning his page. It's once a month for about an hour. It's the third Thursday of the month at the Armory in Devil's Lake for North Central Planning. She would love somebody from our city to be on there.
I think you wait till after the election when you reorganize
Yeah.
everything. Point something.
Yeah.
It almost would have to be somebody that works in Devil's Lake for it to work. It's only two of you.
God works in camp.
You know, so, but anyways, there's a meeting, June 23rd, 10 a.m. If we're not going to sit on the board, we just need to tell her that we can't. So that's
We'll
what
worry
I'm,
about that after the election.
okay. But then we're not
Some of them
gonna
you guys
meet.
won't know any better.
We won't meet until we need to know.
Okay.
We don't have time.
When's what our next meeting?
June 23rd is when her meeting is.
And our meeting is the 19th.
20, no,
Well, rewind, will you do it? Jeremy, or
21st.
not?
Prefer not to, my days are so busy that I'm running
Our
7
next,
days.
our next meeting will be the 21st.
The other way is count, so each county has one, each county seat has one, and then there's a member at large. So it does not have to be a council member, but the council needs to suggest
Lance
somebody.
Tubner, he's on the road.
Lance Tubner.
He's a salesman, he's on the road 3-4 days a week. He might be able to.
We might be doing comedy.
Well,
I don't remember who she said is on. Matt Oderman, Joseph Parker are on.
Joe Parker's on it? Don't know.
Well, have him represent Cando in this also.
You want that?
Are you sure?
She's already in here.
Do you want me to pursue Lance?
Just see what he says. and then,
Okay.
I mean, if they want somebody, I'll see what I can do.
Okay.
This mornings are.
Yeah, it's always
Well,
at
then
10
you
a.m.
get a chief to get out of it.
Try to tell that the
Mhm.
higher ups.
The boss.
They don't need to know you want a coffee break.
You know what it'd be.
And this, plain resource that was in.
This one, there's a note on the back, which I don't really know what this board does. I thought maybe one of you knew. I don't know. But we did receive this in the mail. It would be great to have Cando or Towner County be a part of the council again. I'm sure Susie Sealer would be happy to be a representative at council meetings. So, and down there, on the back page, it tells you who is the representative for what. So they're looking for somebody from the city of Cando to represent. And if we do, then we would have a membership. So the fee would be the $100 for a year.
Looks like that, yeah, the $100, and Susan
Susie Sealer.
would happily be a representative for the council.
She's on Towner County though, Towner County's representation. Yep. So I don't know if what you guys want to decide on that, if anything. Jeremy's a no.
I don't know either what we can have.
What is, why can't Susie's on there for the county or what?
That's what it says. If you look at the back
She's a
page,
legislative liaison.
she's representing Towner County.
Oh, let's just ask if you represent the city too.
I'm sure she can't serve
If you
two.
get twice.
I don't think they get-
Well, it's funny because it says it would be great to have Cando or the Towner County be
Yeah, I
a
don't
part of
get
the
it.
council again.
But it says she's currently serving.
Yeah.
I don't understand it either. I thought maybe you guys had some
Sounds like
insight.
they're hoping somebody would get on there.
Yeah, here it says she's doing Towner County, and it says up there.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
No action from Cando.
Or does that?
I
mean-
would think I just relax.
Okay.
Hey, anybody have any other new business?
Oh, one more. I'm sorry. I got handed this today too. Application for a raffle permit from Hal Parker.
Oh, from Legion?
about $4,000 worth of prizes.
Oh,
You have to have a
Wouldn't that
motion?
be-
I do need a motion.
say first, July 27th, in November 27th, or how does? Dates of activity, July 22.
They probably would sell them for a while, the tickets.
November 22, drawing date must be November.
Mhm. So they'd sell it for 3 months or 4 months. He's got some cash prizes and a smoker, I
Oh,
think.
this is that, I think didn't they take a pop machine and
Oh, no, I think they already did that one.
Yeah, that was last year.
soda and.
This is the same thing they do every year. It's
Yeah,
like
this is a something. this is-
Turned it into a safe, it says something, soda and, I'll make that out.
Well, I think Troy, I think they won that thing, so they're probably gonna. have to
Sell it again.
Yeah.
Regifting.
Make a motion to approve.
Yeah, all
I'll second.
right, motion made. Second to approve their gaming for the Legion, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed and signed. All right, now we got Mason Bill.
Motion to pay
Oh,
bills.
give me a second.
What's
Jeez, you guys.
Landscapes Unlimited? Amanda.
Huh?
Landscapes Unlimited?
Landscapes Unlimited was
Trees.
trees for shade tree committee.
Now, Are you the one that, this was a group up thing or?
I'm gonna let Sig kind of, I don't know if you were at those meetings or not.
Well, he came to me and asked what he should do, and I said, well, you gotta bring it to the council. These are trees that he ordered, and they couldn't get them, like a year and a half ago. And so he had to go someplace else and get trees, well. Here's the trees, we finally got some.
What are we doing with them? Are we gonna plant them now?
I don't know, I wanna know what they did
I
with
think-
the trees.
I think they already planted them, didn't they? One day I went, one evening,
Gosh, he hasn't planted that many. Got one by your place.
where were they? I've seen
That's
a
a
lot.
lot of
Rogers, Preston Scott's.
Yeah, he said he was getting some trees there, planting some trees.
The landscaping unlimited, that was only like 3 trees. I have the bill here,
Huh?
700.
How many trees?
like 3 or 4.
When Ross
For
called,
$700 and some dollars?
Yeah, it's only
Trees are-
250.
Trees are expensive.
oh no, they're the Cando greenhouse one, that's several thousand.
Yeah.
That's
A tree?
5770
For the trees.
5,700.
When Ross called me and he
That's
said, I
four
can't
trees.
get trees.
Oh, I see, this isn't the one from the greenhouse.
No,
Oh, okay.
this is, Ross called me one day, he says, they don't have trees, he said, I can't get any trees from them. But he said, I know the guy in Devils Lake's got them, I said, well, I suppose you'll have to get them there then,
Yeah.
you know.
That's 4 trees.
They
Landscape.
might have bit the bullet there out there, Chuck or Holly, and Holly's son was the one he was dealing with, so.
I think that's might be the trouble, yeah.
Well, that might have been what the deal was. So I was just curious if anybody else knew about that.
Yeah, so,
And then,
but I know one night in town I saw, well, I think Ross was there, and I think Chuck and his wife were there, and may have been 1 or 2 other people, they were planting maybe little, smaller trees
Yeah.
somewhere, I don't remember where. I almost want to say it was in front of Dirk Peterson in that area someplace, or just north of him. I don't know.
So the 2 for landscaping unlimited and Lowe's Garden Center that are right across from each other, those are the trees that Ross said our greenhouse couldn't get. So it's like something like 6 trees total for that.
For
$1,000.
Is that the ones, the landscapes and Lowell?
Yep.
Okay.
So
There's
had
there's
he-
26 here.
Yeah.
Had he ordered all these from Cando lumber, or from the Cando greenhouse?
I don't really understand the story. We received a nice large bill from the greenhouse.
so you're hanging up the pin, your book and everything. Huh? You want to take it home for a souvenir or something? Or?
Kinley?
You got one more meeting yet, Kevin, you're not out of the.
Oh,
way.
yeah.
So are,
Anybody have anything else?
are we gonna like have, I don't know, cake or rolls or something at that
There's rolls
meeting?
up there.
I don't know how old they are.
There's some donuts
That's
behind
from
me.
this morning. For tomorrow, for next week to celebrate, I mean, how many years have you?
Well, I've already got a plaque from the last time I quit.
I won't buy you a plaque.
That's good enough.
Yeah,
Bring that to
I certainly want to see the city succeed in any way I can help it. With
You're still on speed dial.
living
There's
my,
all these committees nobody wants, I'll get you on all.
Go to that assessor school and be the assessor.
just ask Linda and Jamie if I'd be good with that.
Like, sure you would be. You can assess your own property. Get a lot of property.
All right. Think you got
I'll make a
everything,
motion.
anything you want me to touch